Welcome back, everybody, for a brand new franchise here, this time on NBA 2K23, and not just any franchise, but another installment of a draft-only franchise, which has become a staple here on this channel. We will also be doing an expansion team. NBA, unlike Madden and MLB The Show, actually has true expansion, and I am very excited for this. And I know this isn't the most opportune time to start an NBA 2K franchise because we're very late in the 2K23 cycle, and I was planning to wait to do this franchise until NBA 2K24, but I just got too excited and I can't wait any longer. You might have noticed, if you're a returning viewer, that my uploads have kind of been slower the last couple of weeks, not coming out nearly as regularly. There's a couple reasons for that, but one of them is that I've just been spending a lot of time on other games. Diablo 4 came out. I've been playing that a lot with my friends, as well as, Warzone, which I've always played, but I've also been playing a lot of 2K, and I thought, I'd play it for a week or two and get tired of it. That has not been the case. I'm still really excited about this game. That being said, I'm still going to be finishing up both of my MLB The Show franchises. We'll just have 3 series on the channel. It's going to challenge me to upload more regularly, but I think I'll be able to handle it. I just gotta focus up and get to work on this. But very excited about this franchise. A few rules for those who haven't really seen any of my draft-only franchises. It's kind of self-explanatory. We can only acquire talent through the NBA draft. I do also allow myself to use post-draft free agency because at the end of the day, we need to fill out a roster, right? And you have an average of 2 picks per draft if you haven't made any trades, and that's not going to be enough to probably always be replenishing your outgoing talent and fill out your roster. So we'll be making UDFA moves as well. Now, with NBA 2K, like I stated before, having expansion, there is an actual expansion draft, and I will be allowing myself to basically count this as our first draft and use the expansion draft. The players that we select in the expansion draft, which we'll be doing in just a couple of minutes, they'll be able to be re-signed, kept, waived, traded even. And that brings me to the last rule, which will be kind of specific to 2K only, because NBA has the rule of the whole matching salaries when it comes to trades. And so that throws a little wrench if I ever want to, maybe trade a player for some picks. I'm not going to be able to do that in an in-season trade unless I get back matching salary. And so how I'm going to treat this kind of little hurdle is I will be able to take back matching salary, but that player, whoever we take back, needs to be at the very, very bottom of the bench. I'm talking like 14th man on the roster. We'd need like 3 or 4 injuries for him to trade, right? For him to play, excuse me. And even then, they're going to be the very last end on the bench. And if there's a multi-year contract that we're taking back, we have to waive him after the first year. So we'll play. So if we acquire somebody at the trade deadline, they'll play the last couple of the months of the season for us. If they're still on contract, we have to waive him. And then if we acquire a contract in the off season because we were required to match salary, I just have to cut him immediately. And so that's going to be kind of the format here for the series. There's a lot more kind of things I need to be talking about. This will be another CPU versus CPU franchise, and there's a ton of sliders that go into a franchise like that. So I'll be showing you those sliders later after the expansion draft. But before we even get to the expansion draft, I have to tell you who the teams will be entering the NBA. So let's go ahead and get to that right now. Now, the first team we will be adding is the Seattle Supersonics, a classic team. It feels like if you're doing an expansion league and you don't add the Sonics, you're just missing out, as this is one of the heavily rumored organizations that will be coming back to the NBA the next time it expands. This will not be the team that we're taking over. This will be the other team, but shout out to an awesome design by Karud90, putting this up in the 2K share, as I just think the jerseys look really clean. I like that it keeps like kind of the the green across from the classic, but kind of modernizes it a bit. And then I think the logo is a nice modernized version of what they had before. So a nice blend here of keeping it classic with the Sonics, but modernizing it a bit as well. This will be the team taken over by the CPU. And now let's get into the team that we will be using here in this franchise. The other team that is heavily rumored to eventually be coming into the NBA the next time it expands is Las Vegas. This is going to be one of the markets that absolutely receives an NBA team in the near future. Now I'm going to make a couple of changes to this, which I'll show you here in a second. I'll also go back and show you the Sonics full jerseys. But I'm going to make a couple changes, but the base of this is created by Clancy. So once again, shout out for putting a really awesome court logo jersey design in the 2K share. I'm going to make some tweaks and I'll show you the finished product of what we're going to have here for this franchise. So here is the final view of the Outlaws jerseys. I did not change a ton here. Honestly, the only thing I changed was the side stripes on both the tops and the bottoms. The original jersey uses stripe 38. I don't think this is a bad stripe at all. I just feel like it's a little bit too much. I kind of like the side stripes on the jerseys to be more accents and kind of like main parts of the jerseys. And so just changing them to be a little bit less kind of aggressive parts of the jerseys. I did that for both the home and the away here. Just kind of changed the side stripe, everything else exactly how Clancy had it. And then I did not change a thing on these alternate jerseys. I think they're very clean. I did change the color of the accessories of the away jerseys just because socks and shoes on every single away expansion team are always going to be black no matter what you set the accessory color to. So I just think black's going to do better. I think they originally had white here, but just a couple really minor changes here is all I'm doing to Clancy's design on these Las Vegas Outlaws uniforms. And then really just kind of took away a couple of the sound effects, and I think I changed one for the arena. That's the only thing I did there. I think the court looks really clean, not going to make much in the way of changes on that one. And then not going to change really anything about the Seattle team here. Their uniforms, I just want to give you a preview of what they will be. Here, we should probably change the away accessories now that I'm thinking about it. I just think white as an away accessory doesn't work well with this game, so I think yellow might be better here. But I'm fine with these other ones. So that will be basically it. And as you probably saw just for a moment there, in between looking at these jerseys, the Minnesota Timberwolves will be the team that are heading over to the East. There's a couple of teams that should definitely be in the Eastern Conference. I think Memphis and Minnesota are kind of the two most glaring ones. And OKC could also, New Orleans. There's a few teams in the West that could probably go over to the East. And I just decided that I wanted Memphis to be in our division. It's going to be just one more really potentially difficult team to get by here in the West. And so I feel like Minnesota also has the potential to be that with Cat and Gobert and Anthony Edwards, but I just feel like Memphis is a more long-term good team. So this will be the league setup for this series. Let's go ahead now and get into what we've all been waiting for, the expansion draft, where we'll set up the first year roster. Here we are, start of the NBA expansion draft. Seattle picks first, and they take DeAndre Ayton here. No surprise, just 24 years old, 84 overall. Yes, he's on a big contract, but that's definitely a guy that could be a good impact piece for Seattle for really the entirety of this franchise. And now we're on the board, and there's a very clear number one option for me, Jalen Duren. Now, why the Pistons would not protect Jalen Duren, I don't know. I'm not here to question that, though. I'm only here to take players best available. Perhaps after the draft, they brought him in and found something very concerning. Our scouts tried to find out what that could be, but we were not able to uncover any information that would make us hesitant to draft Jalen Duren here. And so probably not going to get a lot of long-term pieces in this expansion draft, but Jalen Duren can certainly be one of them. Still just 18 years old, of course, going to be a rookie for us this year. And being the centerpiece of our franchise, maybe even has a shot at Rookie of the Year, for being honest. Not going to grow a bunch in terms of overall. I feel like he's already kind of at his potential. His 2K potential is not very high, but I know they have like their boom potential and their bust potential. Maybe if he gets a lot of work early on, he can hit more of his boom potential. Already with 4 badges, I think they're just a clear favorite here for me. I would have taken him even over DeAndre Ayton with this pick. And now with our second one, there was another rookie that I think is a kind of a ready now contributor. He's a little bit older, maybe not quite as sure of a thing, but Andrew Nembhard here doesn't really have any badges, but we're talking about a young guy who is ready to contribute right away and be a good player in a rotation. Yeah, C+ potential, not going to get much better, but if we can get a guy who can either be a good bench player for us long-term in this series, or maybe even, you know, our starting point guard. He's got good playmaking, decent scoring. That's kind of what you want. Not excellent size for point guard, but certainly good enough. Really 2 picks that I thought were slam dunks in this draft, and we were able to get both of them here. Draymond Green and Harrison Barnes would be the next players picked by the Sonics here. And that would bring us up next. Let me go through kind of the board and see who I want to take here. So my next player might be a little bit of a surprise, but I'm going to take Mike Conley here. Now there's a couple of reasons for that. One is with these first 2 guys that are rookies, I want good mentors who have good badges that are going to be able to help them in their development. Mike Conley certainly fits that bill. Also doesn't make Nembhard a starter. I think 77 overall. He could be one of our primary backups. That could be really good. And we're going to be a really bad team. And so having a good playmaker like Conley is going to at least help us get as good a shots as we can be. He's not going to be taking a ton of shots from these young guys, but he's going to put us in good positions. And the other is that I don't want these guys to draft both Ayton and Gobert, because 2 center lineups are really dumb in this game. And so I'm going to make the Timberwolves pay that entire contract to Rudy Gobert by taking Mike Conley here. If you didn't know, in an expansion draft, you can only take 1 player from each team. So if we take Conley, Rudy Gobert is off the board. So we're going to do that here with our first of 2 selections. Take a mentor and maybe like a 1-year stopgap starter for Andrew Nembhard. And now let's go ahead and take our second player. We're going back to youth here with Isaiah Joe. Now he is very undersized, which means he may not be, you know, the long-term guy, but you're talking about a 22-year-old who's an absolute sharpshooter. The kind of build that I'm probably going to go for is really good, you know, inside centers, some point guards that are good, you know, floor generals, and surround them with shooters. And Isaiah Joe is certainly going to fit that mold of a shooter. So we will be drafting him here with our second pick here on our second kind of turn of picks. Derek White would go off the board next for Seattle, as well as Xavier Tillman. Surprised they have not picked John Collins. I guess it's because they picked Draymond Green and they already have a power forward they like. But we could take Collins. I'll take a look at it, but I'll see if there's somebody that I like a little bit more as well. John Collins' ratings for three-point scoring have really dipped, so he's not going to super fit the mold I'm looking for. His inside and his mid-range scoring is good, but his defense isn't great, and he's on a pretty long-term contract. So despite the fact that we could get a 25-year-old, 81 overall guy that can maybe help us win this year, I just think if he was a better shooter, I probably would have done it. If you take a look at his stats before this past year in real life, he wasn't a bad three-point shooter at all. He just had a really bad year this year, and his ratings are reflecting that here in 2K. So instead, I'm going to go for Caris LeVert, another guy who's a little bit more veteran. I'm just kind of thinking more short-term, year 1, maybe year 2 of our franchise. Getting a little bit of shot creation to get us out of some jams. He's a decent defender. He's got decent length as well. 6'6", 205 at 2 guard is good enough. B+ defense, B+, 3-point, A- playmaking. That's the kind of skill set that I think could help us in the early stages of this franchise. Probably not going to be a guy that is going to be on our team in year 4, but there's not going to be a ton of guys that we draft here. Maybe we start him for a year, he has a good year, and we flip him. That's kind of my thoughts here with Caris LeVert. Another guy with good two-way impact could be Cam Reddish here. B+ 3-pointer with A perimeter defense. Still only 23 years old. Cam Reddish will be the next pick here for us. Sonics would then double up at point guard, going Dennis Schroeder and Jose Alvarado. That would have been a fun little pickup for us, but short guys just don't work as well in 2K, so probably wouldn't have been super good for us. But let's go ahead and make our picks. One guy I'm a really big fan of in real life. I don't know if this is the greatest pick for 2K, but I really like Chuma Okeke. I liked him coming out of the draft. And he's going to be a really good defender, you know, A perimeter defense, B- inside. Not much offensively, but kind of in that backup small forward role. I think he could really thrive. Isn't a guy who's going to be getting like a lot of touches offensively, but just an awesome defender and a guy, like I said, I'm a fan of in real life, so I kind of want him on my team here. We'll take Chuma Okeke. I've been looking for kind of the Mike Conley mentor role for Jalen Duren, and I don't super love the options, but there is Dwight Powell. Not a perfect comparison, but he does have some badges that I think will help Jalen Duren in terms of being a mentor. So I'm going to take Dwight Powell here with our next pick. The Seattle Supersonics would then come up with John Collins and Gordon Hayward. I don't know why they would give Gordon Hayward 20 over John Collins. I'll probably switch that around and make Gordon Hayward wear a different jersey. Not that that's super important, but let's go ahead and take our 2 picks. Now, we have yet to take a true power forward in this game. It's mostly because I don't think it's a very strong position here. So going through, I think there's a couple guys that do fit that 3-and-D mode, though, and one of them is Javonte Green, so we'll select him here. We're going to double up, and we're going to go right back. 2 players that I see very similarly here in Royce O'Neal and Javonte Green. Both veterans, so we're going to need to find a long-term solution at power forward. I do think Chuma Okeke can play some power forward as well, but that's where we're going thus far. Now that we've kind of established a 10-man rotation, I'm really just going for youth here, and Christian Braun just was playing in the finals in real life just not too long ago. We're going to take him here. Potential to be, you know, a good shooter off the bench for us long term. Need a third big. The Jazz have Vernon Carey Jr. here. He'll be kind of that third center for us this year. Now needing a third point guard. A- defense here for Miles McBride. We'll take a swing on him. He's just our third point guard after all. And then our last pick here is going to be a wing here in Romeo Langford. Just going straight youth after our kind of 10-man rotation. Jayshawn Tate would be the last pick of the Sonics, just showing you their last few. They got Reed and Banton here. Also got Oladipo and Brandon Boston Jr. That would have been a solid pick for us as well. But looks like the Seattle Supersonics maybe drafting a team who could have some early success. Taking a look at all their players, it'd be interesting to see how these guys fit into their rotation. But our team, Duren and Nembhard, a couple of rookies to top us off, who I think can be good impact players early on, and maybe even potential long-term fits. Mike Conley, going to be a veteran, probably just a 1-year player for us. In fact, probably is not even the right word. He's going to be a 1-year player for us. Isaiah Joe, a good young shooter. LeVert and Reddish to get some wing defense. Chuma Okeke adding more to the defense. Dwight Powell to mentor. Our first pick And then Javonte Green and Royce O'Neal, just a couple of veteran power forwards that I think will fit their roles for a short term. And then some shooting here with Braun and another big here with Carey. And then a couple of good, or at least decent young prospects here that maybe have a chance to be with us in the long term. In terms of long-term pieces, I think we probably got 2 that I feel pretty good will be with us for long term, and then some other guys who are possible, like Okiki and Isaiah Joe, and the guys we drafted at the end of the draft. So that's going to be our roster to start year 1. It'll be interesting to see how they play. Let's go ahead and actually talk about sliders now and coaching staffs, because I'm going to do quite a lot here with the coaching staffs. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the staff now. And for both of these, I really wanted to set up kind of an all-star staff. So I ended up taking team control over the Supersonics, kind of fill out their staff. But for the Supersonics, I only filled out the core positions. So let's go through them first. We ended up poaching a CFO from, I believe this was the Warriors CFO. I actually didn't change their assistant GM, but it looks like he's pretty solid. And then they're signing Michael Stauffer, who is kind of the cheat code head coach in NBA 2K23. But since a team is kind of looking to win this year, I think Michael Stauffer could help them do that for sure. Also, Otis Newman. I ended up giving Otis Newman a couple of badges here. For kind of the core guys for both teams, I kind of gave some coaches some badges. Not for Michael Stauffer, he has plenty already. But I didn't end up changing any of these guys. Like I said, only the core positions. We did find the head scout. This guy was of the Warriors, I'm pretty sure. He's got, a gold domestic scout, so they're going to be able to scout the guys from the USA pretty well. Also has a bunch of other badges, and then these guys is just who the CPU automatically signed. They have Gregory Peterson of the Lakers here as their team doctor. He's got a lot of badges, silver, gold, even some bronze ones as well. So really good team doctor for them. And a couple of guys. So they've got kind of an all-star level staff going on, which, like I said, was my goal. Let's go ahead and take a look at what I did for ours. We were able to poach Jordan Malone, the CFO from the New York Knicks. And he's a really, really good CFO. I signed this guy. And then Jacob Underwood, gave him a couple of badges here. He's another one that's kind of always in the coaching pool for 2K. Wanted to give him a couple of badges so he's at least not too far behind Michael Stauffer, not nearly as good of a coach still. And then Dan Hodges was a guy here that we signed. He's got some pretty good ratings. I signed Russ Miller to be our shot doctor. We've got Katarina Patterson to be our big man coach here. We have Vin Rodman coaching our perimeter defense, and then a guard guru here in Lonnie Wall. Scouting, we were able to poach Mason Miller from the Boston Celtics. He's got, decent legworks and analytics, really good organizing, a couple of gold badges there. And then guys without badges, but pretty good star ratings here in Tracy Harris. And then Clark Banks, decent guy, a short-term contract, as well as Donald Foster, and our sports medicine guy we got from the Phoenix Suns, absolute beast. We gave the Sonics the better coaching staff, so I wanted to turn around and give us the better doctor and CFO and stuff like that, since we gave them the edge in probably the most important category. But we got also a stamina trainer who's pretty good here in Camaria Bryan, and then Carissa Gooden here will be a good sports scientist for us. And yeah, really good staffs for both the teams. I think the goal of this franchise is to make it really hard to build a team, so I wanted to at least give myself a good staff that if we do successfully, find talent, that we can actually develop them well and keep them healthy, etc., etc. So all-star staffs for these two expansion teams. Hopefully it helps them find some success decently early on in their time in the NBA. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the slider sets. Like I said, if you want to do a CPU versus CPU franchise in NBA 2K, it's actually really fun. I've done it before, but it requires a lot of slider work. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I've done there. All right, here are my sliders for user versus CPU. You really only need to worry about what the CPU is. because you're playing CPU versus CPU, but here they are. Now, this is a base slider set that I'm using. Is from user Stumpy McGumpy, and that's actually a YouTuber on YouTube that does CPU versus CPU expansion franchise. He's got a really good series over on his channel with the Vancouver Woodsman. I would highly recommend watching that series as I'm kind of going through. If you want to use these sliders, you can go ahead and import them into your own. I've changed a few things from them, but they're based off his sliders that he's used for 2K23. I feel like he's got like I said, he's got a really good franchise. Go over and check him out if you're interested in a franchise like this. But furthermore, you need to do a couple other things. It's not just those sliders. You also need to adjust game speed to 56 to make this work. And you also, another slider that I would highly recommend doing is, as I'm getting this wrong here, there's some sliders here in difficulty. I put simulator difficulty up to 70. I just feel like in these expansion franchises in 2K, you just get good too quickly. I've seen like year one expansion teams be in the play-in or maybe even just playoffs outright. And so I like to make it more difficult to win in simulation. Makes the franchise a lot harder. So I put simulator difficulty up to 70. I think 2K doesn't quite hit the mark on morale, so I make it a lot less difficult and the effects a lot less. But chemistry, I like to make it a little bit harder to build chemistry, and I want to make chemistry a little bit more impactful when you do acquire it. Could even maybe raise the difficulty here. And then I turned injury frequency down a little bit, down to 40. And that's really what I do. These are all the sliders that I edit. It's made for really fun gameplay, in my opinion. And I think we've covered everything. Our first ever game is a home game against the New Orleans Pelicans. Let's figure out what rotation we're going to use, and then let's hop into the game, which will be the last thing we do in this episode. Here we go. This is going to be our rotation to start the year. We'll make changes as need be as we go along, but we're going to be, I think I need to make actually one small adjustment here. There we go. This is going to be the rotation we'll be using. Starting lineup of Conley, Levert, Reddish, O'Neal, and Jalen Duren. It is what it is. We're year one of an extension team. It's not going to be very good. Our second unit is going to be Isaiah Joe, Nemhard, Green, Okiki, and Powell. I actually feel like that's not a terrible bench if I'm being honest, but that will be it. Brown just not going to quite crack the rotation, but as soon as there's an injury, he's probably there. And yeah, that's the roster here for us. In terms of kind of the coaching settings I'm going to use, didn't edit too much of what Jacob Underwood just uses as a default. And then we're going to be using the Miami Heat 2013 playbook to start this franchise. We'll see if it works for us. I just kind of looked up what are the best playbooks in the game, and a lot of people said it's this one. So we'll try it out. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and then hop into this team's first ever basketball game. And the team is ready to go for the first ever game here at home in T-Mobile Arena, going against Zion Williamson and the Pelicans. New Orleans will win the tip, and let's see how we do here in our first ever performance as Brandon Ingram's going to pull up from mid-range, and that one is pure. New Orleans will strike first here in this one. Valanciunas ball top of the key. He's going to hand off to McCollum. He's driving inside, pulling up with nobody in front of him for some reason, but the shot goes regardless. McCollum here, driving in on Mike Conley, but dishing to Zion Williamson. Royce O'Neal's going to have himself a tough matchup tonight, and we're down 6-0 early. Shot clock winding down for Vegas here. We need to get a shot. Levert has a clean look from three. That one is good, and the first basket of Las Vegas Outlaw history. A three from the wing from Caris Levert. Ingram isolating on Levert. He's going to get to the basket, and one gets the layup to go through the contacts. This team could be quite tough to guard with this combination of Ingram and Zion, and it's been tough for us so far this game. Ingram dishes to McCollum. He pulls from the top of the arc, and that one is pure. New Orleans extends their lead to 9 here early. They are definitely not having too much trouble with us. Inbound here to Jalen Duren, back to Royce O'Neal. He kicks to Conley. He's going to get a decent look from the wing, and he pulls that one pure. Second three-pointer of the night for us. Jalen Duren hands off to Conley. He's got a clear lane to the basket. Finds a man open in the corner. That's Cam Reddish. And the third three of the ball game is in for us. That's the only way we're scoring early on. Josh Richardson receives a pick from Jonas Valanciunas. Pulling up over Jalen Duren. That's not a great idea. Duren with beautiful defense grabs the board as well. And we are pushing. Slowing it down here until we don't, as Levert's gonna fire, and that will tie this ball game up at 12. Beautiful find by Mike Conley. That's exactly what we got him for here in year one. Conley gets a pick from Jalen Duren. He gets the feed inside, fumbles the ball a little bit, but slams it home. That's the first basket in the young career of Jalen Duren here, coming with about 6.5 minutes left to go in the first. Pelicans call timeout. McCollum with the handoff, kicks to Valanciunas, top of the key. That one's tipped by Mike Conley. Richardson's gonna get a pick from Jonas Valanciunas. Kick to McCollum in the corner. That one's no good. Conley with the ball. He dishes to Cam Reddish. Reddish, he's got it inside, and a couple of pump fakes. Gets him in position to get it to go. He's now 2 for 4 thus far in this ball game. Conley dishes to Levert. He's going inside. Tough layup. That one will drop. Nice finish by Caris Levert, and that's the second New Orleans timeout here of the first quarter. Willie Green not happy with what he's seeing from his squad. I mean, this is a bunch of guys just thrown together, and they're down by 6. Haven't been able to find themselves a bucket in quite a while. Looks like the first subs are on the floor here, and we've got a few of our own. Nembhard with his first action. Isaiah Joe onto the court as well. Nembhard guarding McCollum here on this isolation, but can't get the stop. McCollum's bucket will go. Reddish. He dishes to Royce O'Neal inside. He's gonna get the foul there. Can't get the shot. But 2 free throws coming up for Royce. First free throw went in. Second is up, but no good. He goes 1 for 2. Chumo Kiki dishes to Nembhard. He's gonna drive in on McCollum. That tough layup will fall. We're getting a couple of nice contested layups, and that's the first basket of the career of Andrew Nembhard. Nembhard receives the screen from Dwight Powell. He goes inside, dishes out last second to Javonte Green, but he can't handle it cleanly. Trey Murphy now running in transition. The hoop and the harm, and one. Nice play by Trey Murphy. Isaiah Joe kind of getting abused a little bit on the inside defensively. Isaiah Joe with the ball top of the screen, top of the key, I should say. He gets a screen from Powell. That one is an and one. We've seen a few of those here in this first quarter. And Hernan Gobin's not very happy about that one, but a nice finish from Powell. McConnell, he's trying to drive past Nembhard. That's going to be an and one again. What is going on with these and ones this first quarter, man? This is probably the most I've ever seen in a quarter. Goodness, everybody's finishing through contact today. McCollum, free throw is up and good. Lead trimmed down to 1 for us. Answer the ball on the wing. Dishes to Herb Jones. He finds room from 3 and gets it to go. New Orleans now retakes the lead. Isaiah Joe, that's a clean look, top of the arc. That one is pure. Trading threes now here as the first quarter winds down. Nembhard gets a screen from Javonte Green, almost pulls it, finds Isaiah Joe instead. Can't field it cleanly though, so the shot is off. McCollum, he pulls up, has plenty of room from the mid-range, won't find the bottom of the basket though, and Hernan Gomez with the putback. Dwight Powell from the elbow, dishes out to Nembhard in the corner. Receives a screen from Green, finds Joe wide open in the corner. Nice pass from Andrew Nembhard. Isaiah Joe starting to warm up a bit from beyond the arc. Herb Jones, that's way too much space left there by Joe, but he can't make us pay. We've only got one shot left here in the first. Let's make it count. Nembhard gets a screen there. Going to the basket. Tough layup won't fall. New Orleans now going to play for the last shot here of the first. Unless they don't, because McCollum found himself a clean look. We'll have a chance to respond, though, with 9 seconds. Game tied. Can we take the lead going into the second quarter? Looks like it'll be Nembhard taking the shot. A deep 3 is off the mark. 29 all after 1. That's a pretty good first quarter, I must say. Durant with the ball top of the key. He dishes out to Cam Reddish. Hands off to LeVert. I like this motion offense. And LeVert gets the layup to go. He's been hitting some tough shots. And it's kind of iffy when I selected them, but it's working out so far for us. Screened by Durant. Conley going to dish it down to him. He immediately kicks it out to Reddish. He'll set another screen here. Reddish, that's a tough shot. And Durant with the offensive board. Nice hustle play from him. 7 seconds. Are we doing a Jalen Durant isolation? No, he's going to dish it out. Conley has no time on the clock. He has to pull in Zion Williamson's face, but gets it to go nonetheless. 2 for 2 on the day for Mike. Ingram receives the screen from Jonas Valanciunas, pulls up from mid-range. That one is good. He's a very good mid-range player. 7 early points for BI. LeVert with the ball. He's going to get a screen from Durant as the shot clock winds down. Going to kick it inside. That one is a tough layup. Had Valanciunas on his back, but he's able to correctly leverage him for the basket. LeVert isolating against Richardson here. He's trying to take it inside on him. He's going to pull a little bit of a floater there at the free throw line. 12 points on 5 of 6 shooting for LeVert. He's been incredible. LeVert finds a wide open Cam Reddish. That one can't drop. McCollum inside. That's a nice finish over Mike Conley. McCollum having himself a decent game, 14 points on 50% field goal percentage. I think they'll take that. LeVert, he's going to dish it inside to Royce O'Neal. Nice cutting play. Royce's first basket of the year. Extends our lead to 6. Valanciunas hands off to McCollum. He's got Conley on him. Been a good matchup for him so far in this game and finds space enough to nail the mid-range shot. Conley out to LeVert. He goes back inside to Conley. What a find! And Mike Conley gets the layup to go. Beautiful pass by Caris LeVert there. CJ McCollum towards the basket, but can't get the layup to go. Maybe the help defense scared him off a little bit there. What a pass again by Caris LeVert! Who is this guy? LeVert has activated his takeover. Defending Josh Richardson here. McCollum towards the basket. How is that a foul? That's straight up. McCollum got bailed out there. Jalen Durant is frustrated, and I can't blame him. That was clean. Let's go ahead and watch this again. How is this a foul, man? Can I not see the replay? Okay, I got to get used to this replay system here in 2K. All right, so here it is. How is this a foul? How is this a foul? Homie, straight up. McCollum got bailed out there. Halfway now into the second, we hold a 6-point lead. Giving a feed to Chuma Okeke in the post. He gets it to go. Let's go. Not a basket I expect to see all too often in this franchise, but I'll take it when I can get it. We've got our team takeover. I'd like to take advantage of it here. Conley going to isolate on CJ McCollum. Dishes to Jalen Duren. Nice drop step inside to get himself the leverage he needed to get that one to go. We've opened up a double-digit lead on the Pelicans. Conley. Chuma Okeke gives him a nice screen. Conley, no time left on the shot clock. He has to pull from mid-range, but gets it to go over Josh Richardson. He's hit a couple of late shot clock shots for us. Herb Jones is going to receive a pick from Jackson Hayes. Goes inside of it and gets the shot to go. Herb Jones is showing some nice offensive skills thus far in this first half. Nembhard gets a nice pick from Green, and he's going to draw the Trey Murphy foul on his way to the basket. He'll have a chance to put in a pair of free throws here. First one for him is up and pure. First free throw from Nembhard was good. Trying to go 2 for 2, and he will do that. Chuma Okeke dishes to Isaiah Joe in the corner. Pass to Nembhard. Decently clean look. And Chuma Okeke, what an offensive board in traffic. And the putback. This is kind of an impressive first half from Chuma Okeke, if I gotta say so myself. Richardson here. He's going to try to drive it inside on Nembhard, but Nembhard's been having some good defense on Richardson today. The kick ahead to Javonte Green. Why is he going to the wing? Just go straight to the basket. I guess he wanted that extra points as he'll get it to go through the contacts. A chance for 3 from Javonte Green. Chuma Okeke dishes to Isaiah Joe in the corner. Up to Nembhard. Screen from Powell. Frees up Nembhard, but he tries to go for the pass, but it's stolen by Hernan Gomez. And the Pelicans now in transition. Hernan Gomez is going to pull that mid-range shot, but can't get it to drop. We should be able to get the last possession here. Nembhard will clear out. Okeke dishes to Nembhard here. Shot clock winding down. He pulls the contested 3. Haven't loved his shot selection so far. A lot of his shots are late in the shot clock, though. I just wish he would be a little bit more decisive and try to get something going. He kind of just stands there while the clock runs down and then takes a bad shot. Seems like a little bit more often than I would like. But all in all, a very good first half from our Outlaws here, as we see the halftime show that we can't hear because I've turned commentary off. Very strong first half for the home team. Looking to replicate that here in the second. We're going to run a play for Karis LeVert to get him a wide open lane. And a dunk. Can't imagine a better start to the second half. McCollum has a clean look from 3, but he won't find it. Just didn't quite square up, but Jonas Valanciunas gets the putback to go. Conley has it on the wing. He's going to get a screen from Jalen Duren. Dishes it inside. That's a tough shot. Does draw the foul from Valanciunas, so he earns himself a pair of free throws. Conley out to Karis LeVert. Shot clock is on its way down. And LeVert will get that one pure. 7 of 9 for 16 points. This guy has been so good for us. Whoa, nice move there from CJ McCollum on the other end. Gets Conley lost, and that'll be 20 points up now for McCollum. Reddish hands off to Conley, now getting a pick from Duren. That's a nice find, and Jalen Duren will slam it home. The lead grows for Vegas. McCollum from the elbow finds Brandon Ingram wide open from the mid-range. Can't get it to go, but Valanciunas grabs the board, and they'll get the basket regardless. Conley gets the high screen from Doran, and that's a nice pass just over the hands of McCollum. And Jalen Duren heating up here in the third quarter as the Vegas lead continues to grow. Didn't think we were going to get a win here in our opening night, but it's starting to look that way. Free throws up and good. Duren completes the three-point play. McCollum isolating against Conley here. Conley a decent defender, though not quite long enough to prevent some plays like that. McCollum gets the mid-ranger to go. LeVert, oh, got Richardson jumping on the pump fake, but he's not going to fire it. Reddish, he gets a nice screen from Duren, going to the basket. No good. Williamson snatches the rebound from Jalen Duren. Richardson now all the way to the cup. That one just finds its way home. Ingram with a nice find inside for CJ McCollum. Nice play by New Orleans. Probably one of the best looks they've gotten all night. It's probably the best, if we're being honest. We're feeding Royce in the post. Reddish driving with the shot clock winding down. That is a nice mid-ranger after the pump fake. Fooled those New Orleans defenders. Got him enough space to drive it home. Team takeover activated for New Orleans. And that's going to be a foul call on Brandon Ingram. Doesn't like the call there. New Orleans has not gotten to the line at all here in the third. We've continued to put pressure on the rim. Nembhard's second free throw is up and good. 15-point lead now for the Outlaws. Herb Jones trying to attack that Isaiah Joe mismatch, and he will do it to success with the pull-up mid-range shot. Jones showing a back that I'm not sure I knew he had. Jones in transition for New Orleans. Getting double-teamed. Herb Jones getting double-teamed. Not something I thought was going to happen here in the first game as Larry Nance nails the three. Jones once again has the Isaiah Joe matchup. And he'll find Jackson Hayes on the pick and roll play. And he'll finish it off. New Orleans has trimmed it down to 10 now. McCollum has Okiki on him. He'll get a screen from Nance. This is it down to Nance, but some nice defense by the Outlaws will blow that play up. McCollum with time winding down, gets that one to fall in the face of Isaiah Joe. Been a very rough night defensively. Talked about it when you drafted him, but he's a very undersized player, and it's showed so far on the defensive end tonight. Nembhard takes the Powell screen and dishes it to Green. Powell with the shot clock winding down, dishes to Nembhard, catch and shoot three, can't fall. Not been Nembhard's best day scoring wise. Field goal percentage is very low. McCollum has it. He's going to get a screen here with just a couple seconds left on the shot clock. He pulls from three, and that one will fall. Down to a 5-point Vegas lead. New Orleans has come storming back here in the last half of the third quarter. Nembhard, he's going to answer right back, though. It's not been his night, but he's still pulling with confidence. I like to see it. Oh, what a pass there from Nembhard, and Dwight Powell's going to finish it off. Don't know if he really needed to be too fancy there, but hey, I like the style points. Jones. He's going to draw the foul and get it to go as well. What a play by Jones. Man, oh man, he has been good today. Both sides of the ball as well. Excuse me as I hit my mic with my hat. And the three-point play is completed. Javonte Green on the wing finds Isaiah Joe. That's a pure shot, but the result is not. Chimo Kiki can't get it to go either. Two really clean looks. Neither will fall for us. McCollum holding for the last shot. Finds just enough space he needs to fire and gets it to fall. And it looks like we'll be taking a 4 points lead into the fourth quarter here. I just had decided it looked like we were going to win the game, didn't I? And now it's a lot closer than I thought it would be heading into the fourth. Cam Reddish guarding Jones. That's a little bit more of a favorable matchup for us. And regardless, Jones out here playing point guard like he's been doing it his whole life, and New Orleans cuts the lead down even further. Javonte Green, though, able to find himself a wide open lane to the basket. Mike Conley finds him. We respond instantly. Ingram, he's got Javonte Green on him. He's going to get to the basket, and the tough layup will drop. Just 9 points for Ingram. It's really been Jones and McCollum for the Pelicans all the game long. Not the typical big two you'd think of. And the floater by Conley is going to go. Both teams just trading buckets here to start the fourth. Cam Reddish with the ball on the wing. Dishes to Conley. Screen set by Duran. That's a clean look for Mike Conley, who gets it to fall. Nice screen set by Duran to set that one up. What just happened? Why did 2K just break? No shot. They're gonna make us start the game over, dude. Oh, 2K just absolutely... Oh my gosh. This game, bro. Oh my goodness. That's not the way you want to start a franchise, with the game corrupting. You know what we're gonna do to combat this? I'm just gonna simcast until we get to basically the fourth quarter. If it's a close game, we'll jump into this new game, I guess. If not, we'll just simcast this first game instead. What a joke, 2K! Oh, that's so ridiculous, man. I don't want to play as the other team. I pressed the thing once. That is really sad by 2K, bro. What even just happened? They didn't even say what happened, man. Looks like we'll jump off to an early lead here, but New Orleans would come back in the second, kind of like what they did here. 5-point game, 6:41 to go. Let's hop in and play this out. Let's see what's going on differently. Goodness, Jalen Duran out here, 23 and 14 on 10 of 13. Levert's not having as good of a game, but still having a solid one. Nemhard struggling, so some things are similar for sure from this game. But let's see, and this time the Pelicans are actually using Zion. So here we go. Let's hop into the last 6:41 of this game. Sucks that 2K just randomly corrupted our game file, but there's nothing really you can really do about it. Jones wide open from three. He gets it to fall. New Orleans will open up an 8-point lead. Conley, he's going to pull from mid-range. Don't know why he didn't pass that out to Levert there. This graphic is obviously wrong. It's because we were simcasting. And what is that shot? And they get rewarded for it anyway. What is this game, dude? If we don't pull it back in within a more reasonable score here close, we might just simcast this game. That's the first time that's happened to me in this game. Like, that's never happened to me, and I don't know why it happened in that game, dude. Levert, he's pulling up from mid-range, and that one will fall. Might be a new game, but Levert coming in clutch is not changing. Brandon Ingram here, driving it in on Levert, dishing out to Jones now. Valanciunas comes and sets the screen for Jones, and I thought Duren had a steal there, but instead it's a New Orleans dunk. Down to 4:20 left in the game. You'll love to see it. Levert dishes inside to Conley. Nice find, and that one will go back down to an 8-point ball game. We need to start trimming this lead, though. We've been bringing it back down to 8, but we need to get it down further than that. McCollum pulling from 3, and that one will fall. Back to an 11-point lead for New Orleans. This one not looking good for us after we're probably going to pick up the opening day win. McCollum off the Valanciunas screen, pulls from the top of the arc, and gets it to go. And he is definitely heating up here in the fourth, and it's been really hard for us to get a fourth quarter stop here. BI guarded by Cam Reddish will get a Valanciunas screen. Taking it all the way to the end. The spin layup, no good though. Did Jalen Duren get a piece of that? I'm not quite sure. Valanciunas, he has a clear lane to the basket, and it is good. Lead now 13 for New Orleans. And it looks like this game has slipped away from us here. So the opening night's win, probably not going to come to pass, but Conley trying to keep it alive a little bit longer. 2 for 10 in this iteration. So, yeah, not quite as good of a game for us as it was in the original game that got deleted. That's a pull-up 3 from Conley. Won't drop. If New Orleans scores here, we will likely simcast the rest of this game. McCollum, step back from the mid-range. It is pure. 15-point lead. 100 seconds left. And so it looks like 2K will screw us out of oh, what did I just do? Of an opening night victory. We weren't for sure going to get it either way, but we wouldn't end up scoring the rest of the way. Levert would end up with 20 points for us on 7 of 16. Isaiah Joe would hit 3 triples, so that he was somebody whose game kind of went the same as it was. But Conley played much worse than he was playing. Okiki played worse. Yeah, just unfortunate. I have no idea what happened to this game. I've never had it just exit out like that. That was really dumb, and I don't even get VC, which I guess is only important in my career, which I won't play on the channel, so it's not that important. But still, pretty disappointing. Regardless, you don't like to see games do that kind of stuff. But one thing I wanted to do is I want to set up these last little bit of mentors here to end off this episode. End it off on a positive note. Why don't we? And then, so what should we do for Nembhard for Conley? I think he's got a gold badge. We should definitely do that. I think Hyperdrive would also be a good one. And then, is there something that would help him shooting? Not really. Does my Conley not have any shooting badges? We'll do, I feel like my Conley should have at least a couple shooting badges. We'll do Needle Threader. Maybe help avoid some turnovers down the line for Nembhard. So those are the 2 that I wanted to say. Is there somebody else? We could probably have Levert mentor our guy here. Isaiah Joe as well. That seems like a pretty solid option. And then do we have a good... We'll just do that, even though it isn't really helping him very much because Reddish is also really young. But there we go. That's going to be the mentors for the year. Next episode, I'll be showing a bit of the draft. And I'm really excited about this draft. I have a cool idea that I think will be really fun for this franchise. So I would highly recommend tuning into next episode to see what that plan is. And I hope you'll like it. But that's all I've got for this episode. I'll be back soon with another. Hopefully the game won't crash on us. And I will see you then.